Hi everyone, I'm Jeremy Gibson Bond and welcome back to the Unity Certified Programmer Exam Preparation course. In this video we're going to be talking about version control, which is an extremely important thing to understand in order to work with other people on the same project. So what is version control? Version control has been around for a long time, and recently Collaborate has been added to Unity, which allows you to use fantastic version control inside of Unity. Version control allows multiple people working on the same project to collaboratively edit that project and do so at the same time. There are several common concepts in almost all versions of version control. One is the repository or the repo. The repo is the online or cloud version of your project. Another is the concept of adding. When you add, you take files from your local machine and you push them out to the repo and add them to the repo so that they are tracked. In Unity Collaborate, everything in your assets folder is automatically added to the repo when you connect to Unity Collaborate. The next concept is publishing. If you have a newer version of a file or a changed version of a file on your local machine, you can publish it out to the cloud. And that's how you take the changes you've made and push them out to Collaborate so that the other people you're working with can pull them and download them to their local machines. Pulling is the process of pulling a file from the cloud down to your local machine. Now, pulling can sometimes cause conflicts, which occur when you have been working on a file locally and someone else has been working on the same file and published their version to the cloud before you did. So now you've got local new changes and they have remote new changes out on the repo. And the process of resolving these conflicts is called a merge. If it is something like a C# file, often Unity can handle the merge automatically, which is fantastic. But sometimes that's not the case. And if you can't merge automatically, then Collaborate offers you the opportunity to merge manually by either choosing their version or your version, or making a mixed version yourself through various merging tools that exist on different kinds of computers. The last sort of common concept in version control that I'm going to talk about is the idea of a history. The history records every time anyone published anything to Collaborate or to your version control system. And this is fantastic because it allows you to revert back to any historical version of a file or the entire repo that has been published. So if you start making some changes and you realize it was a terrible idea, you can go back to a previous state. Or, of course, if something happens to your laptop, if it gets destroyed in some way or corrupted in some way, then you can, on any other machine, as long as you have your Unity credentials with you, you can download the latest version of the project or a historical version of the project to that machine, work on it, publish your changes. The basic version of Collaborate is free and you can sign up for it on the website and use it pretty easily. And what I'm going to show you is how to hook up Collaborate into a new project that you're working on. So now let's hook up our Asterax project to Unity. This is the version of the project that you will receive as part of your challenge in the next video. So the first thing you need to do is go ahead and click this little cloud here, and that will open up the Services tab. And there are lots of different Unity services. You need to select an organization, and this is something that you set up on the Unity website. I'm going to choose Xninja and click Create. That's my little personal company. And now I've created a new project as part of my Xninja organization, and I can have any of these services turned on. Ads, analytics, cloud build, all sorts of stuff. We are going to turn on Collaborate. All of these are some pretty cool things to do. So I clicked the button there, and now I'm going to click Collaborate Together Seamlessly. And it just does some setup, and now it's ready to go. You'll notice that in my project pane, all these little pluses showed up, and the plus means that that is a new thing that I have changed or added that I need to commit to Collaborate so that other people will be able to see it. You can also see that there is the Collaborate toolbar and history panel and all this kind of stuff. This is not going to be very robust right now because we just started this project, but in a moment I'm going to show it to you in a later version of this project. So now what I need to do is make my first commit to Collaborate. You can see here on the button that the up arrow is blue And that is informing me, as it says there, that I have files that I need to publish or commit to Collab. So I'm going to click here, then click in the field. I'm going to say first commit of the Asterix project to Collab. Okay, and you can see a list of all the different objects and folders and other things that are going to be committed. And it's a lot because we're committing everything now. So I'm going to publish, which is committing, and it will upload, and you'll see that it uploads really very quickly for the 15 megs that we have here. And this is pushing everything out to a server so that later anyone else who is part of this project can open it up from the Cloud tab when you start up Unity and can pull the whole project down. There we go. So I am now up to date. So let's take a look at another later version of this same project. Okay, so now we've opened up a much later version of that same project, and I wanted to show you some of the abilities of Collab to sort of work with other people. So now you can see this Collab has a down arrow which says please update, there are server changes. So I'm going to click on this, and it tells me I can either click update now or I can get a little bit more information. So I'm going to click on commit number 50 here, and you can see my message was committing minor changes to showcase Collab. I can actually open this up and see which assets changed, which is pretty cool. So now I'm going to click update, which again, I could also do right here. I can click update now. It'll pull things down from the server. And it modified my scene, so I'm going to reload the scene. And now you can see in a moment a couple of things that I wanted to show you. So the first is your version of Unity has changed. This will impact other members of the project. So on my PC, I was using 2017.4.3, and on my Mac, I'm using 2017.4.4. And I just wanted to show you that this happens. So don't be concerned about it. You should try and get your whole team working on the same version. But anytime one of you versions up without maybe the other one's doing it, this will show up, and this should be a notification to you to make sure that your whole team also upgrades. And I can see here all the different things that I modified. I also deleted a couple of things that were in this possibly delete folder. And for each of these, I can actually look at the individual changes. So if I click on the eye here, I can see the differences where I have now added allows the button child of this game object to call a static method. Just a little comment there to make it easier to see. And this is really, really nice. And this actually works for like scene files as well. So if I click here and I go to scene 0 and click on this, you can actually see the diffs in the scene file, which is kind of cool. Takes a second to load, but then you can see a slight difference here between 0 and a very small number. And then big difference here where like something is significantly different. And you can scroll through, and on the side, it will show you the different areas where there are differences. So it shows me that there's another one here. And this is the inner workings of the scene file, which is kind of cool. I would not mess with that too much if I were you, but just so you can see what really changed. In the history here, you can see going back like many versions, you can see what was changed. And actually you can click this go back to button to revert back to that version. If you made some changes and realized it was a mistake, or you introduced a bug and you're trying to revert back to figure out where that bug was first introduced, you can do this. You can go back to a previous version, and then you can also jump forward to a later version if you have reverted to a previous version. Cool, that's it. So I have made my changes, and you can see also this indicator, which I believe sort of shows me unpublished changes that I have made. And if other people were working on this project too, I could see who was making changes right now that hadn't been published, which is, again, kind of cool. So I've checked everything, and I'm just going to go ahead and commit. I'm going to say upgrading project to 2017.4.4, and also cleaning up any changes to show collab. Great. Great. And I'm just going to publish that. In general, you want to make your commits as descriptive as possible. If I had made any significant changes to the way anything worked, I would have really documented that as well as possible in there. So there, I've committed and I'm now up to date, and that's how to use Collab. Now, if one person makes a change to a file and you make a change to that same file and it is a code file, usually Unity can handle that merge for you. So that actually just happened. I made a change on my PC to a code file, and I made a change on my Mac, and Unity just handled it. Like, I didn't need to worry about that at all. But if two people change, say, an image or another asset like that, sometimes you'll be asked to choose between the two. And Unity Collab makes that very clear, and you can go to the documentation to learn more about that. There are several settings for your project that are on the Unity website for Collab. This includes things like assigning seats in your organization to individuals that you're working with and managing that kind of stuff. Another thing that you should be familiar with is also in the Services tab, you will see Cloud Build. Cloud Build is a way that you can offload the process of actually building and compiling your project to the cloud, and it can save you a ton of time on your individual machines. And what Cloud Build will do is it will take the Unity Collaborate version of your project and compile it. And you can instruct Cloud Build to build for any of the platforms that Unity supports. So you can build to PC or Mac or iOS or Android, and that can be handled on the cloud, so you don't need to worry about doing it on your local machine. All right, so that's it for this video. I'm Jeremy Bond. Thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks.